First and foremost, I want to thank Reverend Janie Owens and the staff of the Casadega Spiritual Camp for having me here today. And also my friends and family who are sharing this moment with me today. I'm here today to deliver a message. One that I know will change the life of some of you, or maybe all of you, who knows. My name is Francisco Valentin, but you can call me Frank. By now you must have realized that English is not my primary language. That means that I might stumble with some words, I may not pronounce them as you normally would, and I may have some syntax issues. That's okay, because that means that you're going to be paying closer attention to the right words. But before I deliver the message, I must first share an amazing story, a true story, to ratify my message. A spiritual experience like no other, a journey to the other side and back. And I'm here to speak as a witness himself. I know, because I was there. One summer day, 1979, when at the young age of 17, and due to a horrible car accident, I died. And when I came back, I brought with me things not taught in school. To help you understand the nature of the accident so you can have an idea, a picture, I was in the driver's seat. Here's the driver's door. Here's the center console. I was T-boned at full speed, approximately 50 miles an hour. And the driver's door ended up in the center console. And I was right there in between. Fractured pelvic bone, 3 broken ribs. I lost my spleen beyond repair, a punctured lung. I had to have exploratory surgery from here to here, and spent 3 days in intensive care unit, not knowing if I was going to make it or not. Then I was moved into a regular room and spent 3 months in the hospital because, besides the fact that I couldn't walk, I also got pneumonia and had a lot of complications because I was way, way, way too ill. And when I tried to explain, when I finally made it through, when I tried to explain what happened to me, on the other side, I was shut down due to ignorance, I may say, by family, society, culture, religion, science, and even history. Imagine a small island in the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, by the way, Hispanic culture, and born and raised Catholic. Can't get any worse than that. So that's what I decided to keep it for myself and take it to the grave. So I thought, hear me now. And that's when I began to read everything I could get my hands on. And it worked like this. I took a book. No, that's not it. Took another one. Maybe. Took another one. Yes. Yes, no, yes, no. Why? Because I needed that spark to help me remember what I never forgot in the first place, but I couldn't find the words to explain to humanity what happened to me. So lesson number 1, don't believe everything that you read. And I kept on with my life. I became a professional in the financial industry. I am happily married, raised 3 beautiful children. Today there are 3 professionals who are sharing today time with me. And I kept up with my life for over 30 years, happily ever after. Until one day, when my life made a 360-degree turn. And the day was July 7, 2011, when a spirit of light manifested through my son's voice. So let me explain. My son, my 20-year-old at the time, out of nowhere, from the blue sky, went into spiritual trance. And the spirit of light manifested through his voice to remind me of an agreement that took place in 1979 before coming back to life. But first, it answered all those questions that I have kept buried deep inside me that I couldn't get an answer from humanity. And before it left, unknowingly to me, he granted me access to higher truth so I can finish my quest and begin my work. But higher truth wasn't that easy to find because I didn't know it wasn't given just like, here you go, you have it. What happened was that the following day, I woke up with this extreme urge to write. So I began to write and write and write and write until I realized that I was transcribing word by word every single thing that happened that night. Every single detail. Over 1,000 words. Humanly impossible in my book, but it happened that way. Call it automatic writing. I don't know, it just happened that way. But what's interesting is that the following evening, I started waking up in the middle of the night, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., to download information that would be incomprehensible for most of us, but I could understand perfectly. Within the complexity, I could see this. I was able to see the simplicity. So easy to understand, yet extremely hard and incomprehensible by many. Today, I receive, perceive, and translate higher truth from the collective forces of knowledge and wisdom to the origin and purpose of life, which I receive from time to time. 500 in numbers I will speak today and counting. So yes, I can talk about near death, and I can talk about the fear of death, grieving, and what's on the other side, because I lived it, I experienced it, and I brought with me the existent reality that does exist, and is so hard to comprehend from this plane of reality that we live in. And the journey continued, because in 2012 I had a spiritual experience. In 2013 I had another one. 2014 another experience. And when the one for 2015 wanted to manifest, I said, no, hold on, too much, too soon, too fast. I'm still healing. And today I'm still healing and learning. So whoever tells you that the spiritual way is an easy way or an easy road is wrong. You know why? Because you have to dissolve your old self. And that's one of the hardest things to do. Nevertheless, when you learn what spirituality is about, it becomes a bliss. Nevertheless, still a rocky road. A never-ending rocky road. At least in this plane of reality. Oh yes, higher truth. Aren't you glad that I have these notes? Higher truth. You might be wondering, what is higher truth? This guy is talking about higher truth. I don't know what higher truth is. Higher truth is like math. How many of you remember learning to count from 1 to 10? I do. I was so young, I don't even remember how old I was. But I do remember one thing, that the teacher said, class, today we're going to learn to count from 1 to 10. So we're going to learn the basic of all the numbers. And because I was so young, I thought that I would learn all the numbers. So I was very proud of myself memorizing those 10 numbers. And when I recited those numbers in front of the class, I was happy. But the section came in the following day when the teacher said, class, now we're going to learn to count from 10 to 20. So I said, wait a minute, what is this? I mean, what was that? Higher truth. That was higher truth. Then I had to learn to add and subtract. That's easy. I have 2 apples, you give me 2 apples, I have 4 apples. Fine. And if I have 4 apples, you take away 2 apples from me, I have 2 apples. Fine. That makes sense, doesn't it? Fine. But the section came in, and the teacher said, 2 minus 4 equals minus 2. How could that be? How can I have 2 apples and you take away 4 apples? You can't. Higher truth. And then I learned how to multiply and divide like everybody else, and we all know the drill. So lesson number 2. Humanity today knows how to count from 1 to 10. And that's been established throughout all religions, right? But when you begin to ask yourself if there's something else other than what you have been for it to be, then you become inquisitive. And that is learning to add and subtract. You see? How many knows this term like, this doesn't add up? I rest my case. So now that I got your attention, let me deliver the message. By the way, I have given you 2 lessons and a few insights so you can start working with it. Okay? So, let's do it this way. I'm going to help you. Let me see how much time you got. I'm sorry. I forgot to do it anyways. We're good. I'm going to do an attempt to answer the question that people always ask themselves, and most of us still haven't had an answer, which is, who am I? Where do I come from? And what's my purpose in life? But let's do it as I learn to add and subtract, divide, and divide. So let's start counting from 1 to 10. Then let's add and subtract, and finally let's do the multiplying and dividing form. And the message goes as follows. You are the sum total of all your experiences since you were born. That's plain and simple, isn't it? Everybody knows that. So if you are the sum total of all those experiences, then you have control over your life. Stop blaming others. You know what you've done. You know what has to be done. And you can control your life. If you already know that, you know that you have full control of your life. The good, the bad, and the other. So let's go a step further. You are the sum total of all your experiences since creation took form. Now, when you understand that fact, now you come to realize that not only you are the sum total of this lifetime, but the many other lifetimes that you have been grown and developed to be who you are today. So, stop blaming others for your present conditioning. Because I've seen so many people saying, why do I have to go through this? I haven't done anything to deserve this. Well, look beyond to see what you have done. And I'm not talking about negativity. It's just that people concentrate on that. But your talent, the things that you know how to do, the love, the patience, the courage that you have built is the sum total we clear now? Adding and subtracting? Now let's do multiplication and division. You are the sum total of all your experience since the first movement took form. Think about it. And when you start giving a lot of thought to that fact, then you realize that you were not created. Just like, for example, I joke this about it, and I make it funny so I don't have to work with the seriousness of the fact that you don't have someone that said, well, let me have this person being raised in a silver spoon, and this one in poverty, and this one, and let's give him some disability, and this one, let's give it all. No. You are the sum total of creation from the first movement, since the first movement took form. Therefore, you are. And if you are, you should know by now who you truly are, where you truly come from, and what's your purpose in life. But I cannot answer that question for you. I can explain it to you, but I cannot understand it for you. That you have to start digging and thinking and pondering until you get there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read one of the transcripts that I received from the Collective Forces of Knowledge and Wisdom that was given to me some time ago for me to share if I feel good about it. And today, I feel good about it. So I'm going to read it to you to give you the final statement to the fact that you are the sum total of all your experiences since the first movement took form. And it reads as follows. This comes from higher sources. If you ever understand that we are one infinite mind, endlessly expanding through the physical and spiritual realm, limitless, then we would understand that the physical world is only an illusion. Now, let me repeat this once again, but this time I want you to think higher truth. I'm going to give you the first sentence, and this statement, I'm going to express it so you can see what's behind it. If we ever understand that we are one infinite mind, that doesn't mean that you are one infinite mind, and you are one infinite mind, and you are one infinite mind. It means that we are one infinite mind. We are one infinite mind. We are one